Hey everyone, welcome. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's reading is What Do They Tell Their Family and Friends About You? This reading was a suggestion. Thank you so much for suggesting this, and yeah, keep the suggestions coming, all right? But we have 3 groups today, group 1, group 2, and group 3. Please feel free to pause the video if you do need some extra time to choose your group, but I will see you guys in your readings. Hey, welcome. If you've chosen the first group, then this reading could be for you, the person on your mind. What do they tell their family and friends about you? All right, so we have the 2 of Cups in reverse, King of Cups also in reverse with the 6 of Cups. Okay, so please only take what resonates and makes sense for your situation, all right? Okay, so they could tell their family and friends that you guys aren't on the same page, or you weren't on the same page. And I don't know if this is on or weren't. I don't know if this is a past energy or a present energy. It could be different for each of you guys. So I may not always differentiate between aren't and weren't, just kind of swap it to kind of what makes sense for your situation. But yeah, they do tell their family and friends that you guys weren't on the same page, aren't on the same page. And this could be emotionally or physically, but they do say mentally you guys are good or were good, but things became too complicated. They tell them there was a connection between you guys, but it doesn't or didn't feel mutual anymore. Initially, they thought you guys would have such a solid relationship, with such a solid connection. They talk a lot about the chemistry you guys had, but at some point things started to feel off, like you guys weren't in sync, and it felt one-sided. I don't know, it could be it felt one-sided on their side, or they kind of felt like maybe it was one-sided on your side. But they admit that they were the one to pull away. For some of you, and so they mentioned that they were the ones to pull away and didn't know how to reconnect with you. And they also say that they were the ones that had walls up in this relationship. They do tell their family and friends that there wasn't enough understanding between you guys, that you guys can never really get on the same page. And they could also mention that they may have broken your heart. And for some of you, if it's not that, it could just be that they talk about how they've hurt you in some way. But they don't say this in a remorseful way. They don't say this in a hateful way, just like an it is what it is kind of way. They do feel somewhat bad though, but there may not be remorse. They say that you guys didn't bring out the best in each other, and they didn't help in terms of making you feel seen or heard. Like they didn't do enough to make you feel seen or heard. And this could be something that they kind of say to someone they're close to. and that you guys just had different emotional needs, maybe physical needs as well. They tell them that things were never stable and harmonious, that maybe it was kind of hard for that, stability and that natural harmony to occur. They say that they wish they could have worked things out, like they wish things would have worked out. Maybe they tell their family and friends that they wish they had done more. But it just wasn't right. They could also mention you being too emotional, and it feels like they do tell someone specific, a friend, that you were perhaps too clingy. They tell them that they thought you were playing too many games, mind games with them, that towards the end, or maybe like more recently, or again, like I don't know what the situation is between this person, if this is not someone that's, a big part of your life anymore. They say that they couldn't really understand or trust how you felt about them, and that they never really opened up themselves. So another thing they mention is you taking everything personally from their perspective, but also that they were trying too hard to control you or the relationship that you guys had. They say that you shut down instead of talking things through with them, maybe certain things. They talk about you being unpredictable, moody, that they felt you bottled up things sometimes until it boiled over, that you sometimes made them feel guilty for things they didn't do, or for things that they shouldn't feel guilty for. But they also mentioned that at times they were emotionally manipulative themselves, that honestly you both had your issues, but they kind of, there's this like, it's like they kind of reiterate that they kind of felt like you were trying to make them look like the bad guy. They also talk about how you made everything about you. But they do also tell them that they should have been more honest with you. They shouldn't have used maybe silence as a form of punishment. They say that you both were walking on eggshells, that you both were immature in ways. But they do still talk about you in, ways that are kind. They talk about you being kind. They talk about you being generous. And that at times you seemed, quite innocent and real and genuine. Even if they couldn't understand you in ways, like that's the kind of vibe they got from you. For the most part, like when things were good. They also say that at first you did seem quite gentle to them. You seemed quite gentle with them. But they talk about that changing quite quickly. Like they say that they wanted you guys to be a safe place for each other. But that unfortunately didn't happen, or it didn't last for too long. But having said that, they also talk about how you both can't detach from each other, that you both have a hold on each other still in some way. So we have I can feel you at a distance. We have I loved you too much. We have move on. We have petty. wild thoughts. And be with me now. We have parties, celebrate yourself. We have sensitive emotions. And we also have determination. Okay. So with I can feel you at a distance, I don't know if this is emotional distance, physical distance, but either way, they do talk about you still being a big part of their life, even with that distance being there. They tell their family and friends that they loved you too much. So it feels like they confide in their family and friends that they have wild thoughts about you, they have crazy thoughts about you. And this isn't in like a sexy kind of way. It's just like they tell their family and friends that they think things about you that they probably shouldn't think. Like even thoughts that make them feel guilty, thoughts that make them feel bad. They also mention that they've been acting quite petty when it comes to you. And this could be in the past, it could also be present. They say that you guys need to move on from each other. It also feels like they tell someone they still have a sexual connection to you, or they still want to have one. With sensitive emotions, I mean, we have all cups cards down here as well. There was messages earlier about them feeling like you were too sensitive. No, it wasn't too sensitive, or like emotional. I can't remember what it was exactly. But they do talk about your emotions being too intense for them at times. So with parties, celebrate yourself, they do talk about you being in a much better place now. They also, let me see something. They could say that you've been taking care of yourself, or it seems like you've been taking care of yourself. And finally, with determination, whether this is, true or not, but they do also talk about you needing to show more determination in some area of your life. For some of you, it could be talking about them specifically, actually. But for some of you, it could be something else. But this is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I really do hope it could be helpful. I'm wishing you guys the best. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Please take care. Bye. Hello, welcome. If you've chosen the second group, then this reading could be for you, the person on your mind. What do they tell their family and friends about you? Family and friends, family or friends, Anyways. Okay, so to start off, we have Six of Swords upright, Knight of Pentacles upright, the Devil card upright. Okay, so they actually tell their family and friends that it was time for you both to move on from each other. Even though it was difficult that you both had to leave or have space from each other for peace of mind, to reconnect with yourselves. They talk about while you both were with each other, you could have felt lost. They could have felt lost, that you both were feeling not yourselves, okay? They tell them that things might have gotten too heavy for you, for them as well, but that it was worse for you. They say that you were both going in different directions. Maybe you both wanted different things, or you guys were going at different speeds, or that, you know, or that it kind of felt like you guys had separate lives. They tell them that they tried to heal you, that they tried to fix you, but it turned out that that's not what you needed from them. Or maybe you didn't need healing in the first place. They say that you both helped each other through a difficult time though, but at some point you outgrew each other. And they do speak about this. For some of you, they do talk about this in like an unfortunate way, you know, like it was unfortunate that you guys outgrew each other. They say it was clear you both didn't want to hurt each other as well, but it felt like you both were just existing alongside each other and not living, you know. They say you both chose peace over passion and the connection that you had. They told them they didn't know how to fix the relationship as well, you know, so they kind of just left it, which was hard, you know, but they feel you both made the right choice. And this is something that they kind of say to people. But they also talk about how they wish you guys hadn't rushed. That maybe things would be different if that didn't happen. Or if that you both like approached the connection differently. So they do mention that they were still trying to find themselves. When you guys were in a relationship, maybe, you know, upon entering in this relationship with you. And, you know, and it feels like they talk about it in a way, it's like because they were still finding themselves, and maybe once they did, or maybe they're still in the process of doing this, it's like the further along they got on this journey, the more and more maybe it created a distance between you guys. But they do talk about you being someone that is or was reliable, kind, you were never flaky, but at the same time you were very lighthearted. They talk about themselves. They say that you were lighthearted, but they were quite serious. At times, maybe not all the time. And even though they talk about you being reliable, they also mention that they didn't think your loyalty matched their own, and that they couldn't depend on you the way they needed. That doesn't take away from your reliability, but just maybe they needed more, you know? So they could also talk about your reliability being more directed towards someone else or something else. In addition to them. So they also talk about how they were the one that moved through the relationship with purpose. But it seemed that your purpose was somewhere else. They tell them it seems like you have a strong work ethic, maybe a stronger work ethic now and you weren't someone who gave up easily anyway. They say they were patient with you and that they were your strength at times. They also mention you being calm and balanced in general. They tell their friends that they have a lot of respect for you. And with the devil being here, they do tell them that at one point you guys couldn't stay away from each other, that they had a hold on you and you had a hold on them. For some of you, they could mention your relationship being toxic at some point, maybe even codependent. They also mention that you both knew how to push the other's buttons, that you were also a big temptation for them, and that you awakened something deep in them as well. And you made them feel things that they weren't ready to see, like they weren't ready to confront certain things. They talk about how they thought you felt trapped. And for some, they could say that you were afraid of them, or you could have been afraid of them. And they also told someone specific that maybe they were holding onto you for the wrong reasons. But yeah. So moving forward, we have curious. I'm in love with someone else. I want to break our energetic bond. It's a problem. Practice makes perfect. And my mind is elsewhere. We also have chase. Face and embrace the person in the mirror. Spiritual or religious community. And we also have surrender with joy. So with chase, face and embrace the person in the mirror, they tell their family and friends that you taught them, maybe you pushed them or encouraged them, maybe in unintentional ways, but you taught them to face who they were. So with curious, that was actually clarified by the Ace of Wands. It feels like they tell someone that someone they know is interested in you, is curious about you. But they try not to like think about it too much. That was clarified by the Nine of Swords, so it could be quite hard for them to think about. With my mind as elsewhere, it feels like they have to remind certain people in their life that they're trying not to think about you too much, that they're trying not to focus on you. So with spiritual or religious community, and it's a problem, for some of you, they could know or think that you are a spiritual or religious person. This is something that they tell the people they're close to. But they speak about it in a way where it's like a problem. That maybe some of your beliefs became or was a problem for them. They talk about trying to surrender your relationship, but like leaving it on a positive note. It says surrender with joy here. So yeah, it feels like they do want to surrender your relationship. They do want to break the bond, the energetic bond that you guys still have if you're not still in contact, but they could still feel connected to you. And they kind of just want to let go on a positive note. So with practice makes perfect, it feels like they talk about your relationship with them being a good learning curve, if that makes sense. It's like it taught them a lot, you know, and maybe it taught them certain things that they plan on taking into the next relationship. And finally, with I'm in love with someone else, they also talk about you potentially. It feels like maybe they don't know for sure, but they do talk about you possibly being with someone else, or possibly being in love with someone else, or just interested or seeing someone else. But that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I really do hope it could be helpful. I'm wishing you guys the best. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope I see you guys again soon. Please take care. Bye. Hello, welcome. I hope you guys are doing good. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've chosen the third group, then this reading could be for you. The person on your mind, what do they tell their family and friends, family or friends about you, all right? So starting off with your tarot cards, we have the High Priestess. No, why did I say the High Priestess? We have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Seven of Pentacles upright, Three of Pentacles upright. So heavy on the earth energy, okay? All right, so we'll see. So it feels like they tell their family and friends that you are self-focused, that you do seem to be more invested in your life, maybe than relationships, that it doesn't seem like you have much time for them, that you seem super independent, super busy. We also mentioned that you don't seem like the nurturing type, that you don't seem super affectionate or warm, but they don't say that you're cold either. It's just that they haven't seen that side to you yet, or at all, I don't know. They do say that you clearly have a lot going on from their perspective, but they don't say these things as if it's a problem for them, almost like they don't want to be an additional problem for you. They don't want to be a thorn in your side. They don't want to get in your way. And, you know, due to circumstances, they talk about how you guys can't show up for each other, you know, in a significant way. They could mention that they felt they were giving more than they were receiving in this relationship that you guys have. They say that you seem like a practical person, you seem super down to earth as well, kind. They mention that you guys didn't really have a chance to be consistent with each other. And depending on who this person is to you, they also say that they don't think you are or were available. Maybe single, you know. They say that they couldn't really carve out the time to build an emotional connection, maybe to build a foundation with you, but that it's no one's fault. You know, maybe you guys both have stuff going on, but they say it's no one's fault, it's just circumstances. They tell them that you didn't really let them in, that you are, you know, busy more time. And they do say that, you know, they do want to feel needed, they want to feel wanted by you. But they're kind of waiting to see what happens next. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do next as well. And they talk about still being invested in you. And they talk about, for some of you, they talk about not being sure if you are invested in them. But at the same time, they do mention not wanting to put pressure on the relationship, and that they need more time themselves to figure things out. But it doesn't mean they're giving up. They also mention that you might be used to unhealthy relationships and that you seem to be having a difficult time at the moment, but you're dealing with it. They say you work a lot, that they can tell you've grown a lot as well, even if they haven't seen that growth for themselves. And that life hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows for you, that it hasn't been easy. They tell them they've learned a lot from you, that you've helped them grow, even in ways that you might not be aware of, and that they appreciate you, they appreciate the kind of person you are, even if things haven't worked out the way they wanted, They mention how attractive and beautiful you are. They say that they think community, family, or friends are important to you, or you're a part of an important community. They talk about wanting to work with you, maybe wanting to collaborate with you in some way, that you are smart and grounded. You're not afraid to put in work, you're not afraid to make an effort, and that you're someone that's not just talk, And, they do tell people they're close with that you're someone they can build something meaningful with. Or, they kind of see the potential for that. Okay, so we also have I'm afraid, I miss you, you're stronger than you give yourself credit for, random thought, I love your belly, I tell my family and friends about you, I'm so crazy about you, is this even normal? We have awards, accept your well-earned praise, we have love life, and we also have energy of love. So with award, they talk about you deserving a lot of praise and recognition for something that you do. And for some of you, this could be a job or a role that is, how do I say it? Like underappreciated or like not recognized. And with I'm afraid, they actually tell their family and friends that you do seem quite intimidating, or you can be quite intimidating unintentionally. And this may not even be like with them, like they may not find you intimidating, but they do talk about you being intimidating maybe to others. And for some of you, they talk about you being intimidating to people of the same gender as you. So with I tell my family and friends about you, it feels like they tell someone, it could be an acquaintance, could be a friend, someone they're close to, that they want to, let me see, not introduce you, but they want to bring you up and they want to talk about you in a serious way with other people that they're close to, maybe like family members, like a parent or a sibling, auntie. So it feels like they say to their family or friends, family and friends, that you give them like maybe a confidence boost, or you make them, maybe like you give them credit in a way that they feel they don't deserve. You know, even if this is unintentional on your part, but they kind of feel seen by you in a way that they feel maybe they don't deserve yet. So with love life, they do talk about wanting you to be a part of their life in a meaningful, romantic way. So they tell some people that they do feel crazy about you, that it doesn't even really feel normal or natural for them. They tell certain people that they miss you, but it feels like they say this maybe when they go long periods without seeing you or speaking to you. And finally, energy of love. They tell their family and friends like they do have love for you in some way, you know? Even if they, you know, can't say they're in love with you yet, but they do say they have love for you for sure. But that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could be helpful. I'm wishing you guys the best. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope I see you guys again soon. Please take care. Bye.